way too fired up. Let's get this going. Let's go. Hey, yo, and away we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream. It appears it's going to be the last one in March here. March 29, 2023, AEW Sidecast coming up. Whoo, what a day. Even my phone's ringing off like crazy right now. Let me just put that on mute for you. So I don't know why I was throwing that accent out there, but hey, what the heck. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good to see everyone here today. It is going to be a jam-packed show with Dynamite here. We got the return of Adam Cole, baby. I think you gotta include that in there. As well, we got Kenny Omega and Jeff Cobb. Draw! How are you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm having a fun time today. It's, you know, when you just gotta make good of a bad position, and that's where I'm feeling right now, because, you know, so for those, I'll throw the bad news out right away here for you guys. So my schedule is changing around a little bit here. This isn't changing. The AEW Dynamite Sidecast is a staple. We are going to be having that each and every Wednesday night. Well, with the exception of when Dynamite comes to Edmonton, but I digress. But yeah, my work schedule changed now, so my days of the week that I work are different. So effective immediately for the time being, at least till May, the Thursday afternoon streams are off. Unfortunately, my days of work were turned to Thursday to Monday instead of Friday to Tuesday. Let's just get working on getting, you know, these dreams of being a full-time streamer are great, but, you know, you still got to pay the bills somehow. So just a heads up, there will be no stream tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow at all. Next stream will be Saturday after Mania. We're going to get back into WWE 2K23. We had a lot of fun with the GM mode. We were chatting up wrestling while we were doing it. So yeah, join me after Mania night 1, and let's see if you can be smarter than a referee. Now let's see if the computer can be smarter than a referee. No stream tomorrow. We're all going to riot. Oh, I'm looking to play other games, but I don't know what. Maybe you might help with a recommendation. Also, any giveaway by chance, if I may ask? There's another good method to playing a new game. Draw, I did. By the way, thank you for the first-time chat, Ophelia. I appreciate having you here. Draw, those giveaways were part of my 5-year anniversary stream at the beginning of the month. I might throw something out in the future here, but nothing on the horizon as of right now. So mainly because I don't play PC games. Why would I give a PC stream? Anyway, just a reminder as well, we are raising funds for the Canadian Red Cross here. The QR code is in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I think I pointed I pointed the wrong way. I love inverted cameras. So we got a hell of a card here tonight. So we got a little bit of New Japan. We got a little bit of ROH getting ready for Supercard of Honor on Friday. Just looking over the card right now. I got it on my phone here on the side here. The IWGP US Championship is going to be defended by Kenny Omega against Jeff Cobb. So for anybody from the local area here in Edmonton, Jeff Cobb was here the year before the pandemic. So that would have been 2019 for PWA, and took on the Omen Gabriel. So, and an absolutely fantastic match. If you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend you search it out. As well, tonight we got Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship against the Butcher, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more during the match, but I don't know if anybody 2 years ago would have thought that Orange Cassidy has gotten over as much as he has. I know we were talking on this stream here personally that Orange Cassidy would be nothing more than a manager going into future endeavors with AEW, and he basically has turned into that workhorse champion that we thought the TNT championship would be. Orange has pretty much led every Dynamite for the last month at least. And it wouldn't surprise me if we start off with that again. And then Matt Hardy taking on Jungle Boy Jack Perry. That'll be a fun match. Either way, that will be an absolutely fun match. It is Matt Hardy, just a consummate worker. Jack Perry. Crossplay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to get the Crossplay Day put up. It was a fundraiser we did on March 25th. It was a bunch of streamers basically raising funds for the Canadian Red Cross playing various games, so we called it Crossplay Day. So the Crossplay Day was last Saturday. So basically we're doing my goal. I'm still want to leave it up because I still want to raise funds. We're going to be taking the QR code and that off for the month of April here, but the little logo will be there on the bottom. The Red Cross just does such amazing work that I just want to find a way to help out with them. If we get to $1,000 by Friday night, I will set up a Just Dance stream for myself coming up. I got some tentative time available right around Double or Nothing weekend in May, so it will be in the future, but it will be set up there. And we did do this for my Jack.org fundraising campaign last November, and the people that showed up for the January 1st stream of Just Dance, they absolutely thought it was one of the best streams they've seen in a very long time. Hashtag Fat Man Dancing. So if we do it by Friday, I will set up another Just Dance stream. If we don't do it by Friday, I'm going to keep it up, and we'll probably end up, I know a lot of people were asking, originally it stemmed from people wanting me to do a karaoke stream, which if you want to know the details about that, it might be best to check out our gaming YouTube page. The feature video is the Uno feature with everybody here at Backbreaker Gaming. And we had a wild bet that somebody put in 10 subs saying that I should sing. So we ended up singing songs that I didn't want to repeat on a PG channel, but it's all good there. But we will. I did find a way that we will be able to do a karaoke stream on here in the future. So that's probably going to want to be the secondary prize if we get to $1,000 later on. So I'm sure I'll put a little thing set up so that we can do it a little bit more there. But as well, for anybody that's new here, please feel free to subscribe to our wrestling YouTube channel. Not only do we have some great shows on there, featuring New Japan Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, Stardom Wrestling. But we also have classic matches from RCW, MPW, the Clandestine Society original videos, as well as Force Pro Wrestling here in Alberta. So feel free to give that a subscribe, take a look at it. And just in case people were wondering what this weird looking shirt was, this is the OG Clandestine Society shirt that the production staff actually got for working the original show. So I just want to give a shout out to those guys as they're doing a double shot this weekend in conjunction with Love Pro Wrestling over at the Rec Room South Common. Actually, it's pretty smart. You got the ring set up the day before, throw on a cheap show. Cheap as in price, not cheap as in quality, of course. Some of the best wrestlers in Alberta. Well, I would say at least two and a half of the promotions in Alberta or in Edmonton are top notch here. So showcasing some students, yeah, exactly. Like that's what these open nights are for, right? So you can show some students taking on some experienced wrestlers. It's basically AEW Dark, but for the local version, right? So it actually makes a lot of sense to do that. So then, of course, I don't have the... Hey, shout! Hey, Shout, I hope you're here tonight because we might end up seeing Rio tonight. After the last 2 weeks we've had Rio on here, I think it was 2 weeks in a row. Last week she came in for a run-in with a steel pipe. She's turning into one of the central figures to take on the Outcasts. And tonight we get Willow Nightengale taking on Ruby Soho in women's action here. So that's going to be fun as well. So it's nice. Like, I think the biggest person to take advantage of this whole Outcast character change has been Ruby Soho. If you've seen her promos, you've seen her work. She is absolutely killing it now. Not that she wasn't a great performer before, but it almost feels like she's extra comfortable right now. And we'll see it as we get into her match later on here, so. But I gotta ask you, Shout, if you're still here, what did you think of NEW Wrestling this past weekend? I know you guys were out in Vancouver, as well as Boom Pro Wrestling. I don't know if you stayed for both shows, but I know you were heading out to see Murder Grandpa out in the old Vancouvers, so I could just imagine how great of an experience it is. That NEW in Vancouver is doing hell of a great job. Zodiac, how you doing, my friend? I'll give you an extra little coin there. We are popping here tonight. Everybody's here early. Everybody's here excited, and I'm also excited. And this isn't going to be a cheap ready for the weekend. Yeah. So I was mentioning it earlier. I actually only get a 6-day work week this week, and I found out Tuesday afternoon that today's my only day off. So we had to change my schedule around. So my streaming schedule is going to be a little bit altered, but I'll get you more details on that when I finally figure out exactly what's going on for my days off. So, but I also before we begin here, which will be, well, the countdown says we got about 10 seconds till the show starts. Shout out to Privileged James Crowder, PJ Seafeld, Backbreaker Game member, and his Ulti supplements. I promised everybody I'd do my first taste test here. This is the lemon drop flavor of Ulti. If you guys want the link for it, let me know, and I will. I'll send it out to you. Or once Crowder gets in, I'll get him to. I'll get him to pass that along here. As we're getting into the intro here. Wow, that is good. For a thing like this, you need 2 scoops on it. There's the pyro, just in case you guys want to sync up to exactly where I am. For a container like this, you actually need 2 scoops instead of 1. So, it tastes actually really good. Not so much a chalky aftertaste, just it has no sugar in it, but it feels like it. And that's always a bonus, right? When everybody's into the sugars. Oh, we're not getting Orange to start the show. I'm actually surprised. Let me get the first prediction up here. All right, Ophelia, we'll see you in a sec here. Let me get the predictions up now that I got my little keyboard working here. So. So how are you guys doing this week? I know that I've been on twice this week already. It's been a busy week for streaming, which I'm very happy about. The more I get on here to stream, the happier I get. So, because I get a chance to hang out with you guys. By the way, the prediction's up here for the opening contest. Gotta love Ethan Page playing the Jeff Hardy role. So, are they going to try and turn Ethan Page face here or what? That's the one question I really have as we're going along here. Or are they going to take Matt Hardy and really turn him into a heel? Well, shake of hands right off the start. I think like everybody talks about AEW having a potential for some characters that we don't know about. Face it, AEW means you win more. Yay for Ethan Page! And I'll throw a coin in there too, just for the hell of it there. I really do hope that just Page gets more time on the screen and gets a little bit of a push going on. And I was about to say that Ethan Page might be one of the worst. I don't want to say worst booked. Yeah, I'll say worst booked. One of the guys that deserves a hell of a lot better than what he's getting, and I think you hear that about a lot of people on the AEW roster. This almost looks like an absolute dream match here for Perry himself. Getting super excited. So, fun fact for you guys, if you are a local wrestling aficionado here in Alberta, Jungle Boy, while he was working down in the States, some of his earliest matches were actually here in Alberta with a promotion called Heart Legacy Wrestling. One of the... Well, let's just put it this way. Heart Legacy Wrestling didn't live up to the Heart tradition. I think that's the politest way of putting it. Oh, Perry just looks like he's loving things right now. So I got to ask you guys, what are you guys looking most forward to this week? Like overall? Like even tonight, I am looking forward to seeing Adam Cole back in the ring just for the feel-good story from the fact that his neck... Oh. Wasn't the best setup in the world, but still not bad. And they got the canvas set up for the All Access show, right? So, I don't believe we get All Access up here. No, we don't. So, can we please get those Sammy and Ty off my damn screen if they're going to start doing that? Yeah, I agree with you. I need to get a boo. That's what I keep forgetting to add to my sound effects here. Like, I got rally songs. I got this. Oh. It's about as close to a boo as I got right now. Vallejo say, what are you guys looking most forward to this week? Like, myself, seeing what Supercard of Honor has available right now, just simply in the Claudio versus Eddie Kingston match that they got set up for the main event is going to be hot. Then the Reach for the Sky ladder match for the essentially vacated ROH Tag Team Championships. But then Mark Briscoe versus Samoa Joe for the TV Championship. That's going to be a banger. It very well could be. It's funny. ROH always had a reputation of having one of the best cards WrestleMania weekend. If you didn't see on... Ow. Ow. And ow. That was not pretty at all. Ugh. All right, so we got our first picture-in-picture here tonight. And sorry, I had to hit the mute button because, certain corporations are paying me to be on my channel, so I ain't giving them no free time here. But yeah, in terms of Mania build-up, I have to admit, when it comes to WrestleMania, this might be one of the poorest builds. Have they retired the ROH tag belts in the design? I'm not 100% sure. They haven't retired the tag belts because they're having a ladder match to crown new tag team champions. If you didn't know, Jay Briscoe passed away in a car accident. The tag partner of Mark Briscoe, and the Briscoe brothers were one of the most decorated tag teams in ROH history. They actually they weren't allowed to have a tribute show towards Jay Briscoe, but they were allowed to have a tribute match featuring Jay Lethal versus Mark Briscoe here on Dynamite just a few months ago. The reason he was not allowed to have, they wanted to have a tribute show similar to what they did with Brody Lee, but unfortunately they weren't able to do that due to previous comments made by Jay Briscoe, which he's rescinded and repented and dealt with. Hoping they retired a design for him. They haven't announced anything formally, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like that's what they did with the ROH championship. They went with, I believe they went with a new design, and then, yeah. Oh, that Briscoe Lethal match was emotional. Like, it's one of the very few times I actually cried on stream. I'll be the first to admit it. I'll admit it now, like a few months later. I wouldn't admit it then, but of course, that would be beside the point here. But that whole night was just, everything at wrestling at that time was just so on edge, I think is the best way to put it. And I'm not talking about the WWE character Edge. That's where we were just coming back, and there was the intensity of that match, as well as you had that was when you had started having the first rumors that between the Saudi purchase of WWE to the possibly Vince coming back, it was just very an emotional time there. As we come back, Darth Mick, how the hell you doing here tonight? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Things are going well here, and I'm the only one who voted Hardy. Shows I know nothing about wrestling. I just picked it. You know what? By the way, predictions are still available for you guys if you want to head out points here. Points, it doesn't cost you anything, but it feeds your gambling addiction if you need to. I think everybody knows that storyline-wise it should be Perry that wins, but one thing I've learned, and I learned this from a local promoter here, and it made a lot of sense. Sometimes the most obvious solution is the best one to put out there. And every once in a while, you just throw a wrinkle in there. Like, everybody predicts that X and Y is always going to happen, and X and Y always happens. Then all of a sudden, you get Z happening out of nowhere. And everybody's like, what? Where'd that come from? And it just makes things so impressive there for the promotion. It just makes you want to come back and watch more. Sort of like when we saw Orange Cassidy. Oh. Well, Hook's out. Got the back of the Jungle Boy. Ethan, what are you doing? Oh, here we go. When it's too predictable, it's not fun. You have to have a certain level of unpredictability, but I don't know. When it comes to a lot of things, when it comes to wrestling, I don't mind the predictability as long as you tell me a good story while you're getting there. Like, it's no fun when you know that you got the Tampa Bay Lightning's guaranteed to win the Stanley Cup. But when you have them go up against a team like the Montreal Canadiens, where you get the history getting involved there, right? You got the opportunity to get yourself have yourself a lot more. Oh, here we go. And there it is. Let me get this, and I'll get to your comment here, Darth Mick. Twitch on the phone is straight trash tonight. I don't know. There's a lot of... Oh, God. Maxwell with his... Well, you want to speak about length. Here comes a lengthy promo coming up. Do you think, as someone who has been watching and involved wrestling for a lot of time, that AEW tries a new gimmick match? Maybe the Four Billers do... Or do you think it'll be something seen before? Probably going to be something seen before. Was your guy a heavy underdog? No, not really. Matt Hardy is a good wrestler. Just the storyline right now is built around the Four Pillars, so Tony Khan usually books that the Four Pillars are going to win. But in terms of a new gimmick match, how many more can you do? Like, hell, even NXT tried that Iron Survivor match, but they had done that before. They had done that before in WWE way back in the Ruthless Aggression era. That scramble match type of thing. MJF is my BFF. I don't think so. MJF is mid. I like the sign there. Somebody took the time to go to Staples to get that poster made up. I'm impressed. I'd say that. I'd say he had an easy way up the top of the card. I love this crowd. It's where it started, so might as well throw it out there. I mean, Jungle Boy had an easy way to the top of the card too. Yeah, really. Both sides really, they do play up to the fact that Christian was such a hard obstacle to get over, and the loss of his tag partner. But when you really break it down and think about it, there really isn't that much of a difference right now. So in other words, he is giving him credit that he's worked hard and MJF hasn't had to. Huh? Jungle Boy is only the Four Pillars other than MJF to have a shot at the main title. I'm just trying to think. Darby, no. Sammy, no. Britt has. I'm sorry, I'm including Britt in the Pillars. I know it's not for this storyline, but let's not forget that Britt Baker is a pillar of AEW. I don't care what these guys say. Sammy's had a few runs with that TNT championship, though. That's the thing. And Jungle Boy was, wasn't he the first No, he was the second TNT champion. You know, a house can have more than four pillars. Well, I'll be frank. If I had to come up with the drawing of the schematics for the pillars of AEW, you have your four corners, which are these four guys, but that center foundation that means the most, I would put Britt Baker in there because, well, oh God, here we Britt had the belt. Yeah, I'm talking about AEW self-describing. Yeah, of course. And Garcia's better than Sammy. I'll give you that. I think Daniel Garcia is one of those guys that AEW never expected to turn out the way that he did. Phoenix is better than the Four Pillars. It's like I said before, a guy like Phoenix, a guy like, well, Penta not as much, but definitely with Phoenix. Phoenix is one of those guys that doesn't need a championship to be one of the All-Stars. He very well could be a pillar for it, but he's a detraction. He's the one that draws the money in. He's the flippy-floppy guy that will produce you a solid draw and a solid match. So, yeah, don't care. I absolutely love him as well. I think he's an absolutely fantastic wrestler, and I will pay my money every time to come see Phoenix. Give him all the belts. I'm not saying it wouldn't look great with him having all the belts. I'm just saying he doesn't need one. All right. When have we reached the tap out moment on this promo here? Are we done now? Play music. He wanted to be friends after MJF says the same thing for the 10th time. 11's too much. You know what the amazing thing is here? In 2 hours, they will get more matches with more storyline put across than what WWE does on 3 hours on Monday nights. This crowd has not responded to Jungle Boy. Well, I think this crowd is starting to turn into how I'm feeling right now, and I'm just like, somebody play some music and somebody get somebody out of here, please. This is like... They better be careful. Jungle Boy's girlfriend might just come out here. She's been working the house show circuit now, so she's back from injury. Come on. We had 3 times now that we could have ended this clean. I've met certain wrestlers where they do have to get the last word in. Come on. Oh, this is just... Well, that finished that off. Thank God he said something to end this. All right, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this again. I've been saying it numerous weeks here. MJF is starting to remind me of Diesel's title run back in 92-93. I believe it was called the worst, the darkest times for WWF at the time in terms of popularity of a wrestler. Just MJF is not doing it for me, and maybe it just fed off that first title match that he had against Ricky Starks in December. That just neither guy brought out their best performance in that match in Corpus Christi, but not that Corpus Christi is a great town to have great matches in anyway. So do you think, here Chad, I got a question for you. Do you think any of the four pillars are going to take that title off of MJF? Or do you think they're going to have to get somebody else to do it? Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't see it. I don't see one of those young guys taking it off of a guy like MJF. Like, personally, what I would pick is, here we go. The BCC versus the Boys. Orange Cassidy versus the Butcher. I'll get back to my predictions here in a sec. Willow versus Soho. That'll be a hell of a match. So they're giving Adam Cole the main event. I love it. So this Kenny Omega Jeff Cobb story is actually rather interesting how they're doing it here. He knows you. You're a carny piece of crap. Because you were pointing at him. If you guys didn't watch the footage last week, I hope you did. He was sitting there pointing, hey, me. Ugh. I love how Omega's like, no, I ain't dealing with this crap. So I wonder if they're jettisoning everything into this Kenny Omega feud right now simply because Matt Jackson's hurt right now, which if you didn't hear, I do believe it's a Wrestling Observer that brought it out. Matt Jackson has a torn tendon in his arm. It's not going to. He's hoping that it's not going to require surgery, but it's going to take a fair bit of rehab. So essentially, they've jettisoned the trios incident with the Blackpool Combat Club right now, which they probably did in the best way they could, just get rid of everybody in an ambulance, sort of apropos. Especially since we got free Medicare in Winnipeg. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they develop this with Kenny. Are they going Are we eventually going to get Don Callis to turn on Kenny and have his own faction put together? Because it almost, like, I know we were talking about this last week, and it's starting to make a lot of sense. A guy like Takeshka. I'm sorry. It's one of the funnest parts of this stream is trying to watch me trying to pronounce Kosuke Takeshita's name during the stream here, because he's just trying to fire it out here. But it is it's interesting to see what they're going to do there, just because the Callis versus Omega feud could turn out to be very beneficial, because for my money, during the golden age of the WWF, the rock and wrestling era, you're looking at probably the biggest feud in that time was two people that never contacted each other in a match. It was Hulk Hogan, Bobby Heenan. I would say would be one of the biggest feuds throughout that entire decade, because Heenan would just go through family member after family member after family member after the championship. And then his ultimate pièce de résistance was getting Andre the Giant to turn his back on Hogan, and that led up to the WrestleMania 3 feud. And then even when you go into the WCW days, it was actually one of the most critical points during the heel turn for the NWO was having Bobby Heenan on commentary. Uh-oh. So they're trying to butter up. If somebody's offered me free tickets to a Blues game, I'd take it. So out. All right, so they'll come up next Wednesday, say they're out, and then we get the feud finally starting. So I can't see the Acclaimed actually seriously joining up. Let me get this up here for you guys. Now, this one, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to go with it. Because, frankly, they could go either way. Just because they do have that pay-per-view coming up on Friday, right? So, and then...
But I'm better
Whoa.
than you.
Jagger!
And you know it!
I gotta stop yelling through the mic during the actual alert there. Thank you, Jagger. I appreciate you. Good day to you, sir. All right, well... Are we actually even gonna get a match here? That's the other question as we go along here. But I hope, Jagger, I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody here's doing well here. Hope you enjoy the new Twitch badges I came up with for you guys. For once, I actually did something for myself instead of hiring somebody. Oh, wait. No, I think this is more appropriate for me doing design work like that. Like, this is okay. Jesus, Claudio. Oh, no. Well, all right. Well, that was... I'm sorry for you guys. That was quick. So are they going to bring out the Dark Order again or what? Yeah, that was something. It really makes me wonder what the... Like, are we going to bring out the Dark Order? Are we going to bring out Hangman Page here? Or did we just have this as essentially the equivalent to a dark match? All right. Well, like you guys said, that was some good point, Ophelia. This was something. I just... If you're not going to have anything positive move forward in terms of this, why would you even have that match? Unless they're going to show up here at the end of this, right? Because I don't see the Dark Order coming out in any matches. There's only a JAS. The way they keep up with the attacks, do you think BCC and Outcast team up? Mox and Claudio were WWE. Where was Yuta prior to AEW? He was on the Indies. Most of the time you would see him on IWTV, so... Because he was their IWTV champion. Him and Garcia were fighting for the championship before coming up to AEW. Don't you love how New Japan does up their promos? You can tell a story just by a simple promo in the crowd. And I will say this, I have to eat my words about AEW. 2 weeks ago, they didn't have a package like this, so it wouldn't tell people why you should watch. That IWGP match looks like it'll be fire. It will. Depends how much time they give it. Because we got to fit it into Dynamite here tonight. You carny piece of crap. Yep. Callis has hired him. I'll guarantee you that's what's going on. Moxley did something that we all wanted. We don't want him in Kenny's corner. We just don't want him out there, period. Wait, what? Really? He went hard way on that? Holy crap. We got blood on Callis. Like, if you had to pick your bingo card or select your go to the betting window on who's going to get first blood tonight, I don't think Don Callis would be the number one pick. Or if you did pick them, you're getting a lot of money. One or the other. But yeah, that IWGP match, I don't care if Callis is in the corner or not. This is going to be a fantastic match. Like, Jeff Cobb, we were talking about during the pre-show, he has been up our way with PWA before, taking on the Omen Gabriel, and what I know that Omen talks about it being one of his favorite matches, and it looked very smooth, very crisp, and Cobb is just that professional athlete that is just amazing. He could, when he had his mask on during Lucha Underground, and he was basically, if you guys didn't know, Jeff Cobb was the Monster Matanza in Lucha Underground for the early seasons there. He, basically the faceless beat 'em up monster. It was just absolutely fantastic what he was doing there. So, but yeah, Jeff Cobb is like the brand, one of the brand names out in New Japan, and Kenny's like a god out there. So having cross promotional matches like this is one of those ingredients that TK has that he has actually used very well, I think. And I don't know what you guys think, but I personally believe that Tony Khan's done a great job based on the availability of the roster that he's had to promote these interpromotional matches. And, Forbidden Door 2 looks like it's going to be absolutely insane coming up here in, we're looking at June here, so 2 months from now. And hopefully we can still have a roster that's somewhat in shape still. As we get back here, let me get the predictions up for our next match here. $60-minute. Now, honestly, I do feel that New Japan could be looking to get their title back. So there might be a possibility that Cobb takes this, right? So while we got the entrance here for Jeff Cobb and we're about halfway through, so I just want to remind you guys of if you guys weren't around on Saturday, guys and girls, my apologies. I use guys as a general term. We are going to be starting Backbreaker Wrestling on... Oh, God. He's got a match. He's not worried about... I've done this before, and I've actually felt like absolute turd for it. For the fact bringing up some bad news about certain people right before a game or whatnot. Save that stuff for after. But the big announcement I was mentioning there that we mentioned the last couple weeks. What in the hell? He's using that. He's using the NJPW theme for this. If you guys didn't know, during Wrestle Kingdom, sorry, I guess I shouldn't interrupt Justin Roberts. They had a full Sephiroth, screw the copyright, we're doing it anyway presentation for Kenny Omega coming out for his entrance at Wrestle Kingdom. If you guys haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. Google it. Go on YouTube. Check it out. It is absolutely definitely worth it. Like, everybody knows how big of a gamer Kenny really is. He is the head of the AEW Fight Forever game, which I sincerely hope is going to be coming out soon. Well, let's face it. When I'm not a coder, I don't think we have any coders in the chat. If you did Kefka, you have my respect. All right, well, I think he did Sephiroth for the... Doesn't Asuka do Kefka more than anybody else? I don't know. I'm not into Final Fantasy myself, so I just... For those who didn't know about the AEW Fight Forever game, and I know that a lot of people, we've bounced around it and we're waiting forever. Sephiroth for sellouts. Just because he's in Smash, that's why I know him. Apparently they did have the game ready to go, and then all of a sudden they went for the rating, and apparently the amount of blood that they were able to produce in the game for a wrestler took it out of his teen rating that they wanted. And let's face it, it's a wrestling game. Teens got to be able to play it, right? If you want to get your massive sales, not just your big sales. Oh, I'll personally blame Mox myself. Let's just... But now they have to go back and recode the entire game to take out that blood in that situation, right? Because if that blood shows up anywhere, then they're going to have to get the game re-licensed again into that teen rating, get it approved, and then they can get it out. I'd have to assume they're fairly close to getting things done, but... Oh, here we go. Boom! You know, I really wish that Omega was able to get his... Was that the issue? Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Kenny Omega mentioned it in a couple interviews that it was almost done. And then all of a sudden they went to the ratings board and the amount of blood that was in there was just... It was solid when you played the demo, was well-rounded. Yeah, like... It is a very good game, and I'll be honest, that the AEW control scheme that they have versus what they have in WWE 2K right now, that is definitely what I'm looking for. My God, Cobb with a running brainbuster. Thanks, Shivani. Take the words out of my mouth. Hey. But yeah, it was the rating that was the biggest problem there, Ophelia. Because I can't remember the exact interview that he did. Wrestlers do so many interviews now, especially Omega. Like, it's funny. Kenny was on the Sessions podcast. I remember that one because I'm a subscriber to that channel, and Omega simply said, like, he didn't really get a lot of requests. So now that he's starting to get requests, he's out there chatting it up everywhere. But I really do wish that Omega was available like 10 years ago. Like, have this avenue like AEW. Could you imagine having Omega Danielson, like, say 2015, 2016, somewhere in that range, like 5-6 years ago? 2015's 8 years ago. Yeah. God, I'm getting old. All right, we got our picture here once again. So I know you guys have said that picture-in-picture can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. I really want them to do another pin in the picture-in-picture again. ...2020 and 2021 never happened, so it's cool. I wish I could say that, but my back says, no, we were that busy. Still feel like 30 years ago was the 1970s? Absolutely. Like, I know I was born in 78. I'll be the first. Like, when people talk about old school games, I'm like, yeah, I was dealing with the Commodore 64 and the Atari and the ColecoVisions. Those were my first systems. Like, my school here in Redwater, just about an hour north of Edmonton, was the first high school was the first elementary school to actually get internet access in Alberta. So we could start learning stuff. Fun fact, I might have been one of the first people to hack a school system in the province of Alberta. I ended up, I went into our school server and changed everybody's password in the school, including the principal and everybody else, to ITSEASY. I changed everybody's password to It's Easy. Imagine being pulled into the principal's office and for 45 minutes telling him the truth that he doesn't believe you. What's the password? It's easy. No, what is it? It's easy. Bah! Didn't cause me any problems in school, but that was one I was particularly proud of. But anyway. Well, what was some of the crazy things you guys did in school? Maybe we'll bring that up right now while we're watching this Kenny Decimation here by Jeff Cobb before we get to the triumphant climax here. Look at the timing. Sorry, sorry to jump here, but look at the timing of this in terms of TV. If you weren't able to do the picture-in-picture, you're coming back to Jeff Cobb having Kenny Omega and a bear hug. So it's an easy focus point for the announcers to get their stuff over while you're still showing dominance in the match. Like, this is very well done. I filmed a wrestling match for our AP history class to explain the Protestant Reformation. I call that a win. I've heard so many people using wrestling as a thesis or a dying. Oh, nice. Never got the tape back. Oh. That's a fail if I ever seen one. Oh, tried the receipt and Cobb said nope. A rolling Polish hammer. That's something you don't see every day. It's almost like Omega has a second style that he uses when he's doing his New Japan matches. It's actually pretty amazing. If you watch it here. Like, I find when Omega's doing more of these New Japan matches, it's more of a stop and go style. While Omega is more fluid throughout the whole thing. Hey, Astrid, how you doing? Folks, once again, if you like some great wrestling content, check out Astrid here. Let me see if I can get a little shout out put in here for her. She is a member of the Backbreaker community here. One of our lovely producers for Backbreaker Video. Where is it here? There we go. Or are you finally bringing Jules in tomorrow, Astrid? Talking about your BBM crossover tomorrow. Yeah, like, it's going to be fun. No? Just trying to think what kind of... Sorry, I've been in a bit of a loop the last couple... Oh, my God! Sorry, I didn't mean to throw myself off here. Okay, New Japan and Impact. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. You're all four doing it together. That is nice. Folks, I'll be straight up with you. I mentioned this off the top of the show. I had a lot of work stuff thrown at me this week, so I haven't been able to advertise the way that I've been able to normally. Do yourself a favor. Check out Astrid's channel. Melball, Andre, Cody. It's going to be nuts. Those guys have such a knowledge of these other promotions. Just wondering who's gonna do most of the talking there. I hope you're moderating most of this, Astrid. You know, you got to keep it under control here, especially when it's a watch along. Okay, so tomorrow night it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain. The Multiverse of Madness is a New Japan and Impact Wrestling crossover. And there are some absolutely star-studded matches. I think Cobb's taking on Moose. Speaking of the man in the ring right now, so if you got, oh my God. I thought he was going to go for a brain buster on the turnbuckle. But it's insane how strong Jeff Cobb is, really. It's... Once again, it's under that category of wrestlers that never got a chance to be seen. Jesus! Like, here's a match for you guys that I would love to see if I got the opportunity. You got Jeff Cobb here and Keith Lee. I don't know if we've had it before. Jeff Cobb versus Keith Lee. Like, to paraphrase Big E, that is big, meaty men slapping meat, but they're also flip-flopping and flying as well. Oh, God. That V-trigger was solid. Slap that frying meat. Quit being a move thief, Cobb. There it is, Tour of the Islands. So if you haven't seen the Tour of the Islands, basically think Power Slam, but throw in reverse. The spin's usually head first, but his is back, or his leg first into the canvas. Is he seriously going to get him? Oh, he got him up. And the most protected move in wrestling today. Like, people want to talk about moves getting protected in wrestling. The one-winged angel, I don't know if you can count on two hands the number of times that people have kicked out from it. I think Okada might be the only one that's done it in recent memory. And maybe Adam Page in that title match. So they're trying to play up that he's playing through all this adversity and stuff. So I'm just waiting to see if the BCC come out to attack Omega right now. But either way, this was an absolute fantastic match like you guys were talking about here. This is just... It's sad that we pretty much take for granted how good Kenny Omega really is. Like, look what he's done in the last few weeks here. Even... Oh, here we go. So why did we have to have the match? Why did we have to have that trios match early? They could have just attacked Hangman and... I was worried he was dropping the belt after Shivani told him about Callis. I actually thought there was a realistic chance of it. Really? Danielson's back. And now... So does Danielson join, or does Danielson... Like, I'm sorry, I'm still not convinced 100% yet. Or are we looking... Oh, here we go. Oh, no. This is interesting because the crowd's got WWE-fied like I am too. Like, are we going to see a turn here? Oh, here it is. Yep, there it is. This whole crowd knew it was coming too. And they had about 3 seconds of it being, Oh, and here come the Rent-A-Wrestlers. How could anybody possibly smother? Yeah, it's rather easy. That's what Danielson did. Oh, this is going to be nasty now. Oh, boy. Excalibur, you're way too trusting. You're way too trusting. Oh, this is good. I really don't know which way. We're probably going to end up getting a Danielson Omega match out of this, which don't get me wrong, I'm not going to complain at all about that. Well, I guess they needed sort of a exclamation point for this, right? If Danielson's going to turn into a heel, you got to have an exclamation point at this point. But once again, like I said, this is probably... It's weird not seeing someone from the BCC not bleed 2 weeks in a row. That's right. Like, this is weird. Really. Because I know we were talking about... Yet. I don't know if we got any other scenes where we could actually see the BCC tonight. The only one I could think of is maybe Adam Cole. Because Adam Cole's the only one that's left. First, I didn't want him to attack Omega, but once I saw how the crowd didn't want it, I thought, yes, this is good with it. You're good with this now? Yeah, like... The one thing about Bryan Danielson is he knows how to do stories. He knows how to tell a story as you're going along. So when are we getting this titles versus career match? And nobody's giving a about what you guys do with those titles. Sorry about the vacuum if you guys hear in the background. Unfortunately, living in an apartment building, it'll do that. Oh, so they're doing it next. Okay. Well, there's a possibility that could be the very last match of FTR. I don't think so. I think if they were going to do the last match for FTR, that would have been this week. I have maid service? Hell no. My God, I can barely afford a decent setup, let alone a maid service. So they're leading off Hour 2 with this. Okay, that makes sense. I will say I really enjoy the fact that the Butcher is in a lot better shape. Okay, 20 minutes on the clock, and there's a prediction underway. Coming out looking like Karnov, yeah. I don't know. When it comes to the Butcher and the Blade, they've always been a good mid-card. Like one of those, let's fill the spot in with a mid-card heel. Like those mid-matches you'll see on WWE GM when I'm working on it on Saturday. That's what the Butcher and the Blade feel like. They're not... They don't look like they deserve a title shot. but they look like they're not going to disappoint you in a title shot. But yeah, like we were saying during the the Blade's looking to use a billy club. It's a crowbar. How did you stick a crowbar down your pants? Like, is that a crowbar in your pants, or are you happy to see me? They're like a modern Mengen the Barbarian. I'll give you that. Better Mengen the Barbarian than Warlord and Barbarian. Still can't believe how jacked the Warlord is even today. Like, I don't know if you've seen, but we had him up here with CEW just prior to the pandemic, and he looks absolutely jacked still. Trying to go over So, how many more phases does the Butcher have to go through to turn into the actual Iron Sheik? Or is he trying to look like that, like Hakan? That's what I was thinking of. Hakan from Street Fighter V. Ow! That was not on the turnbuckle. That was on the... He is definitely cut down. He's definitely looking in great shape. Well, the other thing is also, I believe Butcher's band broke up a few months ago here, because he was a guitarist in a metal band. Sorry, I'm not into my heavy death metal type music, so... As we go into picture-in-picture again. I have to say, this episode has felt really comfortable to watch. It's been enjoyable. There hasn't been anything that's been really too stupid outside of that match. Okay, every time I die, I knew they were good. It's not my music type. I'm sorry. Maybe if I was bored 20 years later, I'd enjoy it, because I'm more of a Metallica, Black Sabbath kind of guy. So don't ask me to name off songs, because no, I just enjoy the music. I don't think about it too much. Lord knows enough people tell me that people tell me I don't think that well, period. So you're not in your midlife crisis death metal phase yet? Nah, I don't think so. For the most part, when I get into my truck and I'm listening to music, because that's pretty much where most of the time I listen to music, it's mostly podcasts. I got my wrestling podcasts. I got my video game podcasts. The biggest one, of course, you guys all know it, because... Well, half of you guys came from there. Remember the Game, or Remember the Game, as it is found on the podcast systems, as you would call it. Adam's just such an amazing dude. Just like you guys. Like, everybody here, like, it's been, well, I'd have to say, maybe 3 months since I've had to either time out or ban someone. I'm starting to get better at getting a little bit more of a thick skin about those guys, because the way that he went at me on social media, that was pretty impressive. Boris, let's call in there. Boris, if you got a link for the Pumpkin Pile Drivers, feel free to throw it in the chat too. I don't mind that. You guys actually had a great conversation there with Kevin Gill recently, and Duke Durango as well. Great to see you here tonight, sir. And I want to wish you the best of luck here this Friday. Calling the action down at LPW 13. Still don't want to grow up. Really enjoyed chatting with Kevin Gill. Yeah, he's a pretty interesting guy. I'll leave it at that. In many ways, he can be polarizing in some things, but one thing I've learned in, 2015 is when I really started getting into covering wrestling. One thing I've learned, and it's really mellowed me out now, a lot of people overthink things when it comes to wrestling and wrestling personalities, and just enjoy the damn show. That's basically where we're at. If you don't enjoy the damn show, go find another show, because, well, hell, you can go look at WrestleMania weekend. There's about 500 shows going on here. And I hope I don't get sued for using the term WrestleMania. Mr. Audible Chocolate Big Bad Boris. And I will say this, for all the times and all the matches that I covered, you're going to watch 499 of them? You're pretty much going to get into every show, and I know you're not going to have time to do that podcast, but I'd love to see, if you're not going to do a full-fledged podcast every day, I hope that the Pumpkin Pile Drivers next week is just going to be your overall thoughts of the weekend, all the way across, when we're getting things together here. Because I know, just to follow up here, Jaeger, I don't have a lot of time this weekend. I just mentioned earlier tonight my work schedule has changed. I'm actually on call Friday night, so I'll be having LPW on my screen here as I'm waiting for phone calls. And I'll probably be watching Supercard Honor on my TV. And I'll end up watching Mania probably on the weekend, and that's probably all I'm going to be able to watch live. Tomorrow night, I got to meet up with a former wrestler in town. I got a FaceTime with a friend of mine there, so we'll probably going to be occupied for the most of the night there. And Smith didn't see it. Oh, here we go. New champ. Oh, God. Boris will be tweeting. I will have to say this. I was just mentioning this before the end of the match here, now that the best friends have come out and sorted things out. The hell? Are we just going to throw this match out? They didn't really emphasize that crowbar at all, did they? All right, that's going to wrap that up. I would have to say I called wrestling matches for the better part of 6 years. Really started in 2015, and I don't want to say retirement, but pretty much I haven't done a match since 2021. So the best times for me working were the times when I was working with Boris, because there was somebody there not only that knew what he was doing, but the fact we were able to push each other and make the product as good as it could be. So if you guys aren't following, well, Boris doesn't do a lot in terms of the streaming part, but definitely check out Pumpkin Pile Drivers. And well, no, I know we didn't have the best of Pumpkin Pile Drivers. Used to be here. It's now on a different network, and I wouldn't change a thing about that. But at the same time, it was great working with Boris the time we did. So now we're getting the battle of the Glam Slams. What is Jade not wearing tonight? Seriously. So, is there any way that we could get Beth Phoenix out here just to shut them both up? Oh, there's Ava. Ava's going to be getting so much footage here. Good old Sterling. So much credit on TV. Ava being there just eating that Road to Valhalla there. So right away, we're going to end up getting Ruby Soho against Willow Nightengale. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to get right after the break here. Yeah, that, just like I said, I knew we were going to get this match. It's the women's time slot here, right? I will admit, AEW's gotten better in changing their time slot. They've moved the women's match around here a few times in the last week. Like every second week, it seems to move out of that slot. So I'm happy for the fact that I just hope that they would do a little bit more than just the same damn thing over and over again. Maybe it's just me. Jade is certainly wearing an outfit. Yeah, they're wearing. Jade's always been coming up with these interesting outfits, to say the least. Once again, well, I'm going to do one last plug here as we get closer here. Just wearing my Clandestine shirt. Best of luck to the Clandestine Society show. It's their first one in the LPW era that they're running a little school show tomorrow night at the Rec Room South Common. If you get a chance and you're in town, stop by. If you got tickets for Friday, it's free. If you don't have tickets, it's only $10. Which, frankly, I think it's the cost of a beer there or something. Food's expensive when you eat out, but definitely worth checking out the future here of Alberta Wrestling as part of the Clandestine Training Center. So, but yeah, in terms of what I'm watching, like I'll be watching Mania first night, and then we'll be on here. We're gonna do WWE GM mode. We're gonna start week 2. We finished week 1 last week, and we were having a lot of fun here. I know Rick Jules, Danny Evans, PJC, we're all in the chat here. And just a reminder once again, and if you guys didn't hear it before, and I got cut off about 3 or 4 times here, as I am a bit of a scatterbrain, of course. Coming up maybe in June, probably either May or June. I'm still got to get everything put together here. We are going to be having Backbreaker Wrestling Online here featuring WWE 2K23. If you have a creator wrestler that you want to put in here, whether you're a subscriber or you're a local wrestler / wrestling personality, feel free to submit your characters, and we're going to be booking shows. And I'm trying to make things a little bit unique with a few surprises here as we go along. So commentary will be provided by us during the show. I'll be here, and you never know who might pop in as a special co-host for it. It's all going to be run through 2K23 for the most part. We're going to do the live tapings here on Twitch. And then I'll have some editing to put together. It'll make a little bit more sense when we start getting things rolling here. But it will be up on our YouTube channel. as we get a promo from Rock Hard Juice Robinson. Well, if you had tunnel vision, wouldn't you be going after Starks instead? So, would this be called Rock Hard Action? If they're having Robinson versus Andretti here on Friday? So now that this is actually a feud match, and I hope that it isn't run always the same way. So are they actually going to try and do the, they're doing it all okay. The automatic seat upgrade that you get during other shows. So that's not bad. Damn, typing doesn't want to work for me here, so. Yeah, Willow's like they say, she's a real nice lady. She's absolutely fantastic. I know she was up here in Edmonton for LPW here just, I think about 6 months ago. And an absolute delight to talk to, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to working with her. Absolutely fantastic person, so. All right, predictions on the board for the women's match here. I honestly think this could go either way. Because if they go with the Outcasts again, it's going to be the same old... But at the same time, do they keep going with that same card again? So what? Gave off the jacket, had the shirt. What are they doing with the shirt? Are they going to try and bring her in? I love the fact that Taz is talking about Willow smiling all the time, and Willow ain't smiling right now. Not that she should be, it's... After what happened there, I totally get why the whole scenario and the storyline, these guys are playing it out well, but... Dr. Wario! And Dr. Wario, just quickly here, my apologies. Bit of a brain dead idiot. Checking my emails is a little bit crazy. I didn't get back to you guys. We'll get something set up. We'll definitely hook something up based on your request in your email. Sorry, my apologies. I didn't respond back to you. Sorry, conducting business online is always a great thing. But hope everybody's doing well here. Hope you're doing well, Dr. Wario. Let's try to go for the up kick right away and just, no. Oh, nice. I love when people do that. I love that break. That was a nice move by Willow there, just... Oh, I'm glad they're going to be giving Cola and Garcia some time here tonight, because unless they're going to give the women 20 minutes, which let's face it, I'm almost getting conditioned into believing that's never going to happen. I will say this right now. I don't care what company you're talking about, unless you're talking about Impact Wrestling. Women's division in a male-female company, they're all being booked like absolute like the lead up to the two main the 2 title matches at Mania. I swear to God, you could do an impromptu match. That's how well they've been booked. You just do an impromptu match, it wouldn't make any difference in terms of build. That was just all right. Even Soraya's like interference spots, it almost feels forced more than just, ha! Tony left her hanging. Tony left her hanging. So once again, prediction point, more attention given to Lita Trish than the 2 title match. Yeah, exactly. And if everything goes towards reports, we're probably looking at Becky versus Trish going on at SummerSlam. That's what we're hearing down the pipe as we're heading over to picture here. We're hearing possibly it could be Trish versus Becky at Yield SummerSlam, which means, yeah, the build sucks, but hopefully the Belair versus Asuka match will be good. They do need to work on story. It's almost as if somebody's come back to deal with storylines in WWE, as much as they try to disrepute all these reports about it. Like, seriously, it's just, I believe asinine is the term. Annoying. Somebody, yeah. I don't even want to mention his name. It's like, what's that guy's name? Beetlejuice? You say his name 3 times and, he mystically appears, so I don't even want to mention his name once. Sorry, I'll throw this out here as a little sidebar. So those that know, we do host the AEW pay-per-views at a local establishment here in town, Beercade. They're a great sponsor for us, and we always have a good time when we're there for the AEW. They had actually asked if we wanted to do the WWE ones as well, including WrestleMania and whatnot, and I personally just refused in terms of the brand. I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. In terms of professionally, the most I'll do is WWE 2K. Frankly, because, well, in terms of simulations, 2K has got the best product. Straight up. I know you have Fire Pro Wrestling, which once I get a PC, we're definitely going to get into here. That's the next goal on the list, by the way, is a PC. Because once we can start doing PC games on stream, that is going to start banging here. So, as much as I love my capture card and my consoles, there's just some games that if I can avoid picking up, like, I don't need a PlayStation and an Xbox. Well, I do, but that's like shooter goals and dreams here. But as you can see, there's a reason why the little sub goal meter down there is PC list number 2, not. Well, she's going for it again, and she's going to get blocked here. See, look how forced it looks. Like this, just ugh. Like, it's 2023. Unless you're intentionally looking to be clunky everywhere, you need to be smooth, and Saraya just ain't smooth anymore. Are we gonna get? Oh, these girls are getting some time, and I like it to see it here. Well, is Ruby going to get the first loss of the Outcasts here? That's the other thing. Since they've branched into the Outcasts, they haven't had a loss yet. Oh, tried to go for that face first into the buckle and got blocked. Wow! I love the look of that Death Valley driver right there. Just curl and down. And there's Aubrey. She sees it, but she doesn't do anything about it. Two right kicks. Folks, my left arm was going to my mouse to go to end the submissions. We might get something else here. Oh, no way. Blocked out of that. Ha! Pounced right into the ropes. All right, Angle, here we go. Okay, more interference as always. And dirty pin. Is it just me, or is that just... How many weeks are we going to see this in a row? Like, I could get it if there wasn't any social media. I could get it if this was once a week. I get it, the dirty pin. But it just... They're not showing anything that's going to... I'm with you, Ophelia. I'm over this. I'm really disappointed in how they do this. Like, every week they're doing something like stupid like this. And here we go. Shout out to Collins moment of the night. Here comes Rio and Sky Blue. See, with the debut of All Access tonight, they gotta get Baker and Hayter out here now. Don't you dare do that to Rio. Here it is. I told you. And Jamie Hayter just hates these guys, so doesn't matter that she's helping Rio, but there was some stank on that. I will say that. It was a fake out, but there was some serious stank on that clothesline. Terrible matches and silly mean girl mentality. It's exactly it. It's this. All right, well, they're playing up the title match next week. They're trying to get us stared out, and Hayter's like, no, get the hell out of here, because I'm coming after you. So Takeshita's getting a Rampage spot. Okay. I'll be frank, guys. Like, when it comes to Rampage, even this week might be a little bit too much. Like, none of these matches are really drawing me to Rampage tonight, so. Juice and Ricky next week, so. MJF Day. Okay, Hater and Rio. I could live with that. Well, at least we know what our main event's going to be next week. I am going to be sitting here stoked for that match. Oh boy. This main event, it's a match I think we've been waiting for a very long time with Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. Like, when you talk about list of matches for Adam Cole to get in the ring and to show off, even though they went with the cheap heat of the Karrion Kross promo last week to advertise this, I'm still going to look forward to seeing this match here. So, okay, well, normally I'll be in a position here this last commercial break before the main event to give you guys a rundown of what's going on next week on the channel, but I'll be God honest with you, I'm not 100% sure of all of it. Normally I have a Thursday afternoon stream, and as I mentioned before, my work schedule's changed, so now that Thursday afternoon streams are officially off the table for the next month at least. Next stream I will be up is going to be Saturday after Mania. After Mania Night 1, join me here as we get into week 2 of WWE My GM. With WWE 2K23. Right now we're just behind NXT and just ahead of WCW, or the other way around. We're in second right now. We're working our way up, but we got like almost $1 million. Everybody else got like 100,000. So we're going to be spending some money this Saturday. So I might pop in Sunday with a MLB stream. Depends how work goes and whatnot. Weekends are usually pretty easy. I also want to make sure that all my videos are up. If you guys aren't subscribed to both our YouTube channels, especially the gaming channel, they got wrestling channel's got about 700 subscribers right now and getting some pretty decent views. But the amount of momentum we're getting on our gaming channel, all the Let's Plays, the cloud gaming updates every Monday with PJC. Fighting Game Thursdays with myself. Right now we got the playthrough of Hi-Fi Rush going on every Wednesday. Fortnite Fridays with Rick Jules. Then on the weekend we're almost done the playthrough of Final Fantasy Tactics with Rick Jules. I think we got another 3 weeks of streams to go on. And now we're going to start getting some MLB content. I'm hoping to get Cereza and the Lost Demon fired up there. This past Tuesday, we just started up Pokemon Legends Arceus on there with PJC. And I got a bunch of little surprises thrown in there as well. Quick note, if you guys didn't see my preview earlier this week, this Saturday, it is the Rick Jules and Level Up Leon replay imagining of the Royal Rumble. Their universe where they have their card somewhat going along with WWE's timeline. The next one covering this year's Royal Rumble will be coming up the day of Mania in the morning. 10:15 Eastern, 8:15 Mountain. You beat Daniels when he's like 400 years old. But still can go, but... I love how they're pushing up Hobbs here. They're letting Garcia get the second entrance tonight? All right. And Cole go with the yellow. Got the black and the gold going on. Good old NXT colors, right? If you guys are interested and you want a little break into video games after Stand and Deliver for NXT. Last week's video of our draft and week 1 of WWE 2K will be on the YouTube channel. I believe it'll start at 2 o'clock. Will be available starting at 2 o'clock. So if you want to catch up on everything that we did last week, feel free to check that out. And then join me after Night 1 of Mania, and we're going to get at least a couple weeks in of the GM mode. We figure out what matches we want, and then we do actually watch most of them as long as we can. 2K does have some limitations about which matches you can watch. But we managed to watch all of them last week. Basically, they just don't allow you to watch ones that have interference in them. They're DQs anyway, so nobody wants to watch a DQ match anyway. So why are they... Okay. So who's coming out with them? Anybody? Okay. Don't get me wrong, I really hope that there's nobody coming out with them, but they're down to 15 minutes here left, so like I can only put a 10-minute prediction up. Main event prediction is up for you folks. Feel free to throw your points in. And one of the matches that was just announced for Supercard of Honor that I'm really stoked for, Daniel Garcia and Shibata for the Pure Championship. That's going on as well. So I know Vikingo and Commander, Vikingo, like, if you guys didn't see that match last week, like, I swear to God, if I had cigarettes, I'd be smoking them after watching that matchup. It's sorry, I'm just watching this. I'm just amazed that with Adam Cole, you have somebody here who basically could ride this match out, take it easy, and, you know, live off the crowd support in this one in the return. Because you get your return match back. It's sort of like a free pass, right? But Cole ain't going to do that. Cole's one of those few guys that will not do that. So, and actually, it makes a lot of sense, and Shivani just pointed out perfectly there. The fact that they have Adam Cole in the main event, and then everybody gets to talk about him for All Access on TBS right after. So, if you're in America, feel free to stay on TBS and watch that. I think it'll be interesting. It's always great to see these behind-the-scenes stuff, if you can. Oh, there was a slip. No sign of ring rust. Yeah. I'd say a little bit of ring rust. I'm not going to say a lot, but I'd say a little bit. Ooh, nice. Okay. If you're going from a concussion, that's the move that you're going to use to... That's the move you're going to use to set things up. I'll guarantee that. Wouldn't it be funny if you had Garcia win this one just to, some sort of shenanigans? It is the JAS, so I would expect it. But having Garcia win this and just Cole getting beaten up and then have some kind of save from somebody. Maybe have the BCC come after Cole and then have Omega come and save, and then we get that tag team. The Bullet Club, the former Bullet Club Elite. It's sort of like multiverses overweaving each other, and that Bullet Club is so, I don't want to say confusing, but it's got a train of its own, and it's the thoughts of them going everywhere. Whether it be the Cole dynasty in ROH, you got the Cody Rhodes era, you got the Omega era, of course. You got the Tama Tonga. Now you got the David Finlay era, the Jay White era. Like, there is so many. Honestly, the Bullet Club, to me, in many ways, could possibly be the equivalent to the Zelda timeline in the wrestling world. And I was just thinking about this earlier today. This really could be the way they intertwine and how things match up. If you really wanted to think about it, you could actually say, well, okay, we got this branch. If you go to WWE, you get this. If you go to ROH, you get this. If you stay in New Japan, you get this timeline. It really does look as confusing as the Zelda timeline. Shout out to Tears of the Kingdom coming out in May here. I still got to get into Breath of the Wild. I bought it off Andre C just prior to the pandemic. I still haven't touched it yet. I want to get into it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into it on stream here. I'd like to, but basically it's from what I've seen, and I'm really dumbing down the idea here, and maybe you guys can help me out here, but to me, it almost looks like it's medieval GTA with a whole bunch of side missions all over the place, and then one main story to go through with all these little castles or these temples you got to go through, and these spirits you got to meet up, and these little mini games you got to play. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. You could see that, Dr. Roy. Oh, I'm glad. I'm like, it makes a lot of sense to me. Just like, granted, the Vice City is probably my favorite GTA game personally. I don't know about you guys, but this, like, the way I can see GTA 5 right now and the immense popularity of it. I've never been a huge fan of like those open world, you get to choose where you go kind of games. I don't have time for them. So, and my ADD, like, you guys see me talk during these streams. I'll talk about this, then I'll talk about that, and then I'll go all over the place. You think I'm going to be able to handle going through random events on a video game? I'll be a completionist, and when I, take 80 hours when it should be 20. No, and I love that Ushigoroshi. Well, I guess Taz could talk about a broken neck and all the effects of what's going on with it. Never heard of a comparison quite like that before for Breath of the Wild. Like I said, it's I'd have to play it to see if it's actually the fact, but I feel that in many ways I do feel that way, that it's a whole bunch of side missions and 4 big bosses from what I've heard before you face off to the end, before you get to the ending. So God, that super kick on the money. GTA 6, the missing link. Patent pending, patent pending, patent pending, patent pending. Let's make that ka-ching out of that. Maybe that's why we haven't been able to get... maybe that's why we haven't been able to get GTA 6 in forever, right? Oh, Garcia, you gotta do those better than that. The Bret Hart cover. Was that a knee kick or was that a groin kick? That's the question. Oh, no way. Here we go. No. Well, I guess it's more the Dragon Tamer just because he grabs the knee pads. Well, I think I got something patented right there. GTA 6, the missing link. That actually makes sense. Oh, and here's the list of matches for Supercard. And there's that ladder match we were talking about, all six or 5 teams. Sorry, I thought there was 6. So are they going to play the injury angle again now or what? Or is Cole just faking it to get a sense of confidence here? Probably not. I know Danielson played that. No way. Straight jacket pile driver. Or a butterfly pile driver, whichever way you want to call it there. Straight jacket would be in front. All right, now we're going to get if we get the Panama Sunrise here. There it is. And, oh, those eyes are immaculate right now. Nobody wanted to go for Garcia in that match. So we got 4 minutes left before time runs out. So either they're going to run through... I got a feeling BCC is going to show up. Either that or they're going to do a lead-in to AEW or to the All Access show right off of here, and we're not going to be able to see it. Oh, and this is why Britt didn't come out during the first match? This is where you pull the curtain back and just say, you know what? We don't really care about storylines here. This is... I'm just... like... This couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Really, like... Adam Cole, like, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch him on his streams here with the chugs and whatnot. Just, he is one of the legit best guys around. And I'm not just talking about video game capability. I'm not talking about wrestling ability. He's just a good stand-up dude. If there was a wrestler right now that I haven't met that I'd like to meet... Adam Cole would be it. Uh-oh. Looks like we found our first feud. And just a stare back, that's all he needed. So are we... Is that it? Is that all we're going to get? Jericho's looking at Cole and looking like, this is who I used to be. We are going to get Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. I'm in. Not that, Jericho matches are over through the roof right now. I can't stand the overproduced crap. But the fact that this is, in many ways, one of those... Like, remember we played WWE All-Stars? You would see who would fight between two different generations, who would win. Like I said, Adam Cole is just one of the most amazing people. And the fact that he got to do this is, to me... It's great to see him back, and it's great to see him where he's happy. And that's the thing. He's happy in the ring, and... Look at it, you could just see the confidence and the happiness just building off of him right now. Just as they're about ready to get into Access. As we fade to black here. And overall, another solid week of Dynamite. I'm not happy about the women's match. I love Jericho, but needs to start a retirement tour. Don't want to stay so long that you end up with bad matches. He could step into another role. Well, he does do commentary now as well on Rampage. Jericho's just been trying everything, and just whenever he feels comfortable, he just he heads out whenever he has to. And as he's going along, I think Jericho knows to get out before the getting's good. He's one of the few that I would trust because he's so awesome at changing his character around all over the place. It is pretty fantastic. But hey, Crowder, just want to give you a shout out here. Ulti Subs, we tried out the lemon drop for the first time tonight. Portioned out properly, it is absolutely great. 2 scoops for a full container. Shout out to Dean Richter on that one. But if you guys are interested in a great energy drink and you want to help out one of our Backbreaker Gaming members, just shoot me a message and we'll get you the link here. Or Crowder will throw up the link while I'm giving the summary of the show up. One or the other here. Yeah, Dynamite. Great show tonight, like I said. Got a lot of stories across. We're looking at the Kenny Omega story is really starting to develop now that we have Bryan Danielson included. Looks like we're probably going to end up with somewhere in Danielson versus Omega. Yes, please. I'll have some more. Thank you. The women's starting to get a little tired of the whole scenario there. Jack Perry and MJF, it was pretty much everything we expected with that promo after Perry got the victory over Matt Hardy. Orange Cassidy, a good match with the Butcher. The trios match that really didn't need to be there with the Blackpool Combat Club and Dalton Castle and the boys. He needs to go sign for one match at Impact, just checking off wrestling at all the major companies. Yeah. I could see that with Jericho eventually, maybe. Him and Storm are buddy-buddy, so I'm sure it'll happen sometime, right? So Lance Storm is one of the agents out in Impact Wrestling, so I'm sure that door is wide open, and Callis used to be a VP there, so there's enough of a wide open door for him to go basically wherever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. And the rest of the card, fairly solid. Not going to complain at all about anything we had on the show other than, like I said, why did we need that match with the boys and the BCC? Just have the two attacks and be done with it there. So, I don't know. To me, it was, once again, another solid week. And like I was mentioning earlier I think I was mentioning it late last week or early this week, this show did not need to blow the house down because nobody's going to remember, with all the wrestling that's going on this week, no one's going to remember what's going on this week. You're going to have the feel-good moment here with Adam Cole returning. That's a great way to end it, and the great feels for everybody. No QTV, so we'll give that a gold coin there. Actually, no, that is really big. That's like getting a home run. Let's give it a horn. I think they're loading up for next week because that FTR versus the Guns match is going to be amazing. Riho versus Hayter is a match that a lot of people are not going to sell well enough. That's going to be absolutely amazing. I feel, at least. I know Shout Out to Cloud's going to be probably here next week because, well, it's Riho in a title match. So, and then we got Juice Robinson and Ricky Starks next week, which should be an absolutely fantastic match as well.